The following is a production of DallasCowboys.com and the Dallas Cowboys Football Club.
How about them Cowboys?
Yeah! Go Cowboys! This is Cowboys StoryLine with Nick Eatman.
What is up? Welcome to Cowboys Storyline. It is Wednesday, November the 20th. I'm Nick Eatman. Chris Beams in the back as the producer, as always. This is show number 2 of the day for him, and just one of one for me. I'm looking at NFL Network is announcing right now that they didn't announce it, but they're showing the Hall of Fame semifinalists for next year's class of 2025. Darren Woodson. Once again, let's do this again. Woody, need to get him on the show. You know, it's funny. I texted him the other day. I said, "Hey, when are you gonna come on the show again?" He just responded with something completely different than that. I'm like, "Okay, funny, huh? What about being on the show again?" Not responding. I don't know. But as we get closer to the Hall of Fame announcement, maybe this is the year. Got to be long overdue, but doesn't really matter when you get in. Ask Drew Pearson that. You get in. No one cares about how long it's been. Well, I take that back. There's some people that I think that they get waited way too long, and then they're not in the right frame of mind, or some people aren't even alive to experience it. So I do wish they would get these guys in a little earlier. Hopefully that's the case with Darren Woodson. 888-855-2297 is the number to call. You can text the show, 817-290-3298. Got a couple callers already on the line. Let's get after it. Gary in New Mexico, start us off.
Hey, Nick. Good morning from the high mountains of southern New Mexico.
All right.
Okay, I got a trivia question since it's Washington week.
All right.
Then a comment on this year's team. Okay, so Cowboys are playing at Washington this week. Of the Cowboy quarterbacks with at least 3 starts, which one has the best overall record at Washington?
Got to have 3 starts. Well,
yeah.
Oh man, I guess it wouldn't be Dak. I mean, that seems like logical, but because he's played really well there. He got his first win there.
Yeah.
But it's not Dak.
It is. It's a tie, technically.
Okay, hold on. Who else? And so you said winning percentage, or is it like
just overall winning record? I guess we could call it percentage, but Dak is tied with one other Cowboy quarterback as the most successful playing at Washington, with a minimum of 3. Quincy Carter was 2-0. We're not counting guys with less than 3 starts. We're talking established Cowboy quarterbacks.
Congrats on that, Quincy Carter. That's right. Yeah, man. Yeah, I would say I don't know. It's not Danny.
It's Danny White.
Is it Danny White? Okay. Yeah. I mean, 83 and 85. He won those 2 games. I can't remember some of the others. 81.
Well,
yeah.
Oh, yeah, Danny White, and this is cool. Danny White's one of my favorite players. Danny White was 5-1 lifetime at RFK in the regular season. And then he lost that NFC Championship game in 1982.
Mm-hmm.
But he didn't finish that game. He was knocked out in the second quarter. And I still contend, I will go to my grave saying if Danny White had not gotten hurt in that game, he would have brought Dallas back and they would have won it. That's a barroom discussion for another time. Go ahead.
I got a trivia question for you.
Okay, go ahead.
In that 82 championship game at Washington.
Yes.
Danny White got hurt.
Yep.
Who was the last player to take a snap in that game?
Drew Pearson.
There you go. You know your stuff.
I know my stuff now. I can tell you, I was in the 5th grade. That's the last time I cried after a loss, and then my granddad just reamed me and told me to grow up. But everybody left the field.
And then they had to take a snap.
And they had to go in and get Drew Pearson and bring him back out, and he took the ceremonial last step. Yeah, that was – I'll never forget it. Okay, so do you know who has the worst record ever for a Cowboy quarterback at Washington?
Steve Pelluer.
Roger Staubach.
Okay. All right.
The greatest football player in the history of the world, whose poster still hangs proudly above my desk. He was 3-6 lifetime at RFK.
Yeah. Well.
So anyway, good old days. I wish it were like that, but unfortunately it's not. So let's talk about this year's team real quick.
Yeah.
When they took that field goal off the board in the third quarter after Aubrey made that 64-yard kick,
Yeah.
I agreed with the decision. You have to do that. That's the right thing to do. You got a 15-yard penalty. You take the 3 off. You get the first down. You go for a touchdown.
Yes.
Had no problem with the decision.
Same.
Yet I knew when it happened that they were not going to get those points back. I just knew it because that's just the way this season has gone. And you made a comment a couple of weeks ago, which I totally agreed with and which we're seeing play out. You know, we talked about not quitting. And it's one thing to not quit when the lights are on during the game. It's another thing to not quit during the week. And we've heard over and over from Coach McCarthy and from Dak Prescott, they need to practice better.
Right.
They need to practice better. And then you hear these stories about Ezekiel Elliott, who was brought in to be a leader. And you hear stories about him missing practice, missing meetings, being late. And then you see that Cooper Rush interception that he threw early in the game where it looked like him and C.D. Lamb were just not on the same page.
Exactly.
That's junior high stuff. That's a lack of preparation. And I don't know if you blame the coaches, if you blame the players. There's blame to go all over the place. But this is just not a very good team. I like watching some of the younger players and see what they can do. I like Brandon Spanford, saw some of the stuff he did. You know, little things like that, see what we can build on for the future. But this is starting to, Nick, I've seen a lot of Cowboy football in my life, and this is starting to remind me, this looks a lot like 1988. I mean, this is a bad football team. But we enjoy what we can, and next year can always be better. But thanks for taking my call.
All right. Thank you. Well, I like how you said 88 and not 89 because 89, you know, they only had the one win. 88, I think they had 3 wins, and I think they were maybe 2-2, 2-3. It was, you know, they were okay at the first, and then maybe they lost like 8 or 9, 10 in a row. But they did win at Washington, and it was Tom Landry's last win. So who knows? That's one thing about this rivalry. It doesn't matter about the records. You say that all the time, I'll throw out the records. Really, that is the case. Just go back in history. We can talk about that later on, but the history suggests that doesn't matter who's winning, who's losing. This game is usually, you know, pretty close, and the underdog can win no matter where they are, because there's going to be a lot of Cowboy fans there regardless. All right, let's go to Brian in Kansas City.
Good morning, sir.
How are you?
I'm doing great. A little cold up here, so just give you the weather update. Start that off right away. So, but moving on to Washington week, you know, this past week, the one thing that I took away at this point in the season, I'm really just watching plays, right? Like I'm celebrating a play because there's not a lot to celebrate. The week before, it was the interception in the end zone by Diggs. This week, it was Kevontae Turpin. You know, the 64-yard catch and run was absolutely the right way to use him.
Yeah.
And I'd been so frustrated with them throwing the ball to him like he was a possession receiver trying to make a contested catch. That's not who he is.
Yeah.
We need him get him on those and quick outs and anything where he can use that quick, that quick twitch speed that he's got, and then, anything at 22 miles an hour, probably nobody's going to catch him, right?
I mean, think about that really. He would get arrested in a school zone for that, I mean, I drive in the school zone every single morning, and I'm like 20, I'm right there at 20 miles an hour. It's amazing when you think about it, how fast he is really running. And he even said, I didn't even think that was that fast. Wait till I get really going, which, yes. And we're all like, yes, wait for that. We've been waiting for that to really get open and get in the clear. So he's fun to watch. He's a fun player to watch. They've got to continue to figure out ways to use him like that.
No, absolutely. Yeah, that was a great play. And that's just the way, I'll watch the rest of the season that way. I'm looking for something to celebrate, and that was it. That they, okay, that's the way you use Turpin. Wow, he really does have it.
Yeah.
If you use them the right way. The other thing, people have been talking about, people have been kind of looking forward to next year or some. And so I looked at over the cap and just to see, what can we do to help ourselves? You know, if we want to push some of these young players into positions to see what we have, what can we do? And there are some things we can do. I think it begins and ends, though, with the offensive line.
Always.
We've got to decide if Awesome Richards is a starting tackle in this league, along with Guyton. We certainly hope Guyton is. He's a first-round pick.
Yeah, he's got to be. He's got to be. Yeah.
Right. So, but if those two guys are, it turns out that this is the year they can get out of Steele's deal. It would save, you got to do it as a post-June 1st.
Right.
But it would save $14 million. And when I looked around the team, you could get to almost $30 million if some of the other young players pan out. And I won't go through the whole list. It's a long list. The biggest part, though, is Steele. So the offensive line plays a key role. Do we have, if we're looking at Awesome Richards, TJ Bass, I just forgot our center's name. What's our rookie center's name?
BB.
Smith.
All right.
And Guyton. That's, I'd love to see that combination on the field and see what we have. That would be my thing, and see, can they play together and see that this year.
Yeah. All right.
So anyway, my Cowboy this day, I don't know if you have a story about him. I'm ashamed of myself as the Geritol generation. I never asked this, but do you have a story about Bob Lilly?
All right. Thank you. Thanks for the call. I don't. I don't know if I've ever met him, honestly. And I'm kind of embarrassed by that. I've been here 25 years. There's been a lot. I mean, he's around. I mean, he's done some things, on the field and stuff like that. I might be intimidated by just meeting him. We've done some interviews with him. Our TV broadcast team has done that, but I wasn't a part of that, and I've never met him. I don't think I've ever met him, and I think I would remember it if I have. The only thing that I think is really, really cool, the only story I have, again, I've never met him, but right outside here they have a part of the tours, which can be a distraction if you let them. But the tours around here have the mannequins of all the different uniforms. It's like 8 different mannequins that are sitting up here, and one of them has got the jersey of the old. It shows like the old uniforms of throughout the years, and one of them's got is 74, and it's got his jersey, and it's got his actual cleats. Like the cleats that he wore in games, he's donated to the to the Cowboys, and so on the mannequin they actually have the different shoes. But these are cleats that he wore in the game, so I think that's kind of cool. Let me go back to the part about Terrence Steele, and again, when you're looking at salary cap, I don't want to float this number out there. When you're looking at the cap, it can be. It can be confusing. Of course, it's not supposed to be something easy to read. When I'm looking at what I thought that sounded odd. Terrence Steele, you can save $13 million. Brian, I don't think that's the case. I think what you're seeing is his base salary in 2025 is $13.2 million. You cut him, you would save that. Now you still get all his prorated signing bonus because his contract goes all the way to 2028. So his cap number next year would be $18 million. If you cut him, his cap number would be you would save $4 million, 4.6 off the cap, because he's going to count 18 of he's being on the team, and if you cut him, you cut that salary out, 13.2 or whatever, it ends up being 4.6 if you cut him this year pre-June 1. I guess if you did it post-June 1, you'd save. Yeah, you could save about 13 million if you cut them. Yeah, you could save 13 million there, but then you'd have to get to 7 the next year. I don't think they would want to do that. So I think you keep them. I think you keep them on the team. Actually, probably makes more sense to do that. But who knows? He could be a guy, but you don't. The thing about offensive linemen, you're trying to develop them. They don't want to let these guys go. So as much as you think about Josh Ball and Willetsko. They still keep them because you don't want to. You got these young linemen that you've developed. I think that they want to continue to keep him. I don't see him being let go at all. Carolina is our next caller.
What's going on, Nick?
What's up, man? How are you?
Man, I've been a little distance from the show, man. I didn't want to come spread my bad juju.
It's all right.
I've been getting tired of getting talked bad to about wearing my Cowboys jersey. I was at a truck stop this morning and had on the Cowboys hoodie. Oh, take that off, y'all. It's just, it's bad everywhere you go.
Yeah.
It's bad everywhere you go. But anyways, man, one, I called to say I just don't understand why we're not using Deuce Vaughn in the correct way. Like, you bring him out there, give him one snap, running straight through the middle.
Yeah.
Like, why not get him in space? Why not give him the ball more than 5 times? Even with Rico, give it to him 10 times. I don't understand. Like you said in the beginning of I think Monday, 55 passes is crazy. I mean, that's just crazy.
I mean, do you? Let's be honest here. Do you think Deuce Vaughn is going to do anything in the open field? I mean, we've seen enough of. I don't know. I mean, like Rico, same thing. Rico looks good at some times, but then he'll drop a pass or he'll fumble here. I mean, like, I think these are good players. I don't think they're special. And again,
I don't think Deuce has enough time to be special.
You know what? I'll agree with you on that. I'll agree with you. I kind of feel like we've seen him, but if y'all don't think so, and you know what, that maybe not. Maybe he needs a little bit more time. Again, you can't hurt. With Rico, I think we kind of know what he is. I think he's a good, solid player.
I think he's solid.
Yeah, but I mean, he's not anybody you would not draft a running back for because you have. And I'm not saying that you're saying that either. I just feel like, part of the reasons these guys aren't getting more carries, it's like, why doesn't he get more carries? It's because they're not producing with the first carries that they have. That's what happens. And it's not always his fault. But on first down, if you get 1 yard on first down and it's 2nd and 9, you're probably not getting the ball again. Because that's it. Now, if you get 5 yards, you're getting it again, and you get it again, and we keep moving the sticks, and guess what? You're getting more carries. But that's the problem of why these guys aren't getting more carries is because they're not staying on the field long enough to get more carries.
And you know what I'll hit you with on the contrary of that?
Okay.
You can't play everybody the same way. It's like this. I'm going to go to the play caller. Like, why would you run it? He's not the biggest guy in the world.
Sure.
And he's a twitchy, fast guy. So why would you sit him scrub the middle? Like, maybe a pitch to the left, a pitch to the right, maybe a screen. Like, I was confused. When I seen him come in, I got excited because I got his jersey. I'll tell you that. And then he got one play. I didn't see him no more. I was like,
So your opinion is based off justifying the jersey that you bought. That's what it is.
No. It's based off of what I seen him do in college. The man was, he was crazy. He was getting down the field, man. I was so excited when we drafted him. I'm like, this guy's going to bring us that burst.
Yeah.
But it's like you're running him like a power back, if you ask me. Like, that's not his game.
No, and I understand that for sure. That's not his game. I do think, though, you can't have these running backs like just being, Zeke's on the field, so it must be pass protection, and now Deuce is on the field, so now it's going to be something to the outside. Like, running backs, and I've said this before, running backs have to do everything. You have to be able to run it here so you can, you can kind of keep everybody honest of what you're doing, even though that's not his strength. Even Tony Pollard, he'd run it up the middle, even though that's not his best run, but, he'd run to the outside as well. So Deuce has got to be able to do all of it, but I agree with you. I don't know if we're even seeing all of it. We're just seeing the part that's not his game. So you have a point there. I get that. I just don't think these running backs are doing enough to extend the drives, and it's not just their fault. It's the line. It's the blocking.
You're right. You're right. And I'm not going to hold you today too much long today. But I do,
all right.
I'm trying to become a part of the storyline, so I got to give you my favorite wrestler and my favorite all-time Cowboy. Favorite wrestler, I know you probably never heard this, Rey Mysterio. He was my favorite. And favorite all-time Cowboy, T.O.
All right.
I'm going to leave it with that, man. You have a good one.
All right.
I'll call in
All right.
at least one more time this week.
All right, thanks, Carolina. In Carolina, T.O. is his favorite wrestler. I mean, favorite. He could probably wrestle. Yeah, I know you can ask a former Eagle. He can be a boxer. Rey Mysterio and T.O. Okay, interesting. Let's go to Jeremy in Washington, D.C.
Hey, yo, Nick, what's up, man?
What's up, man? Are you going to the game?
Nah, I'm not going to the game. I don't have tickets for the game. But if I did, I would. I wouldn't. I don't really care what the record is, man. I just like looking at my team play.
Okay. Second question. If the Cowboys win this week, are you going to be talking a lot of crap to people around you?
I mean, if they bring it to me, yeah, man. Because all I'm going to say to them, if we sorry, what do that make y'all?
I love it.
Because we beat them.
Hey,
yeah.
And Washington's been able to do that to the Cowboys again. I mean, this rivalry, man, I've seen the Cowboys go 12-4, win the Super Bowl, 1995, 12-4, lost 2 games to a 4-12 Washington team. Tell me this rivalry doesn't matter. Like it happens, and it's happened recently too, like in recent years and things like that. So
yeah, with the Santana Moss catch and all that.
Exactly. I mean, when the Cowboys were in 2015, I think the Cowboys were 4-12 that year. One at Washington. So I mean, it happens. Let's see if it happens this year.
We gotta win this for what's your boy, my other man they called from DC, what's his name, Coach Tyrone or something like that.
Okay. Yeah.
Yeah, he always called up there. He was the one that called last time and was very upset, man, because we're not winning and he's spending his money on tickets and stuff like that. But I'm calling because, man, I wanted to call in last week, but the job kept me busy. But I just want to see more of this Mingo kid, man. Like, I think he's going to be a great addition to the team. And the only really problem that I really had with the trade was that I wish Jerry would have did it with, like, a defensive tackle. You know what I'm saying? And help brought in some younger defensive tackle depth instead of, keep depending on the older veteran guys. That's all I really got to say, man.
Yeah.
Other than that, you guys enjoy your holidays, man. And try not to hurt nobody. All right, Nick?
All right, Jeremy. Appreciate it. Thanks for the call. I'll say this about that, your point about defensive tackle help. It's really not much different than the offensive line. What I said is find a team that's really, like getting rid of the young linemen. It just doesn't happen a lot. I mean, you'll see this team. I mean, it takes a while to. I mean, they're not going to get rid of some of these young guys. So if there's somebody that you like that's a young defensive lineman, they're probably going to try to keep him. The Cowboys try to get cute and get rid of John Ridgway, and they cut him in the middle of the week or weekend or whatever, hoping to get him on the practice squad, and didn't happen. Washington claimed him, and they've never got him back. And they've actually tried. They tried to make a trade to get him back this year. He ended up going to the Saints, I believe. But just young linemen, if they show something, offense or defense, they're usually. They're coveted, and so it's hard to do that. Now, as for Mingo, he got open a little bit. I saw one run for sure where it got to the outside where he was like asked to cut back and block, and he did that pretty well. He's a big guy, so he's going to have to be your best blocker or a good blocker on the outside. You're not trading 4th-round picks for blocking receivers. I understand that, but you've got to be able to get open, make plays. He got open a little bit. There was a pass that I don't know if a gecko would have caught that one. It was down on the ground down there. It was tough, but he's got to be able. They got to get the ball up to him. He'll get opportunities. There's no doubt about it. I'm anxious to see him play, of course. And I was one that didn't hate the trade, but he's got to get the ball. He's got to, do something. If he can do anything this year to give him a head start, then I think, you can justify the trade a little bit just by, hey, you're getting a guy for a 4th-round pick that's already played in the league a couple of years. He's already played in this system. I don't know what the system's going to look like next year, but you know what I'm saying. Let's go to break. Let's go to break here on Cowboys Storyline. We got another caller waiting. Just hold for a second. We're going to go to break. We'll be right back on Storyline.
Cowboys fans, when it comes to navigating the ever-changing world of tax, your business needs a partner it can trust to tackle even your biggest tax challenges. Ryan is the largest firm in the world dedicated exclusively to business taxes. Our team of tax professionals has local expertise in all areas of tax and can help you uncover savings opportunities you didn't know you had. Learn more about how Ryan can improve your overall corporate tax performance by visiting Ryan.com. Ryan, the official tax partner of the Dallas Cowboys.
Hey y'all, Matt Pittman of Meat Church here. With football season kicking off, I'm already gearing up to bring the smoker back to AT&T Stadium for some epic tailgates. But with that Texas heat, it's crucial to keep my beer hand cramping cold. That's where Yeti's insulated Colster can cooler comes in clutch. This year, you can even get them with the iconic star engraved on the side. Licensed Yeti Cowboys gear is now available at Stadium Pro Shops, concessions, and on Yeti.com. Check it out today. Yeti, official cooler and drinkware of the Dallas Cowboys.
We got big personalities. We got big hair, big belt buckles. We got fans all across this big state and enemies in every other one. We even got a big star on the 50-yard line. Smirnoff knows football is a we thing, an experience that is best enjoyed together. With good drinks and good folks home or away, we rally together. We cry together. And we always rally cry together because, most of all, we got big love for them boys. Smirnoff, we do game days. Please drink responsibly.
Back to Cowboys Storyline.
Cowboys Nation, Amanda Foster has been named your 2024 Dallas Cowboys Fan of the Year, presented by Captain Morgan, for her dedication to the team and spicing up the game. Vote for Amanda to be named the Ultimate NFL Fan of the Year at NFL.com/Fan of the Year. All right. Vote for Amanda. See, maybe we can get her on the show. She's the Fan of the Year. We'd like to get her on the Storyline. 888-855-2297 is the number to call. I want to say on the last segment there, Brian, you were right. I was looking at this thing differently. You were right when you said that they would save about $14 million on the cap for post-June 1. As I was looking it up, I remember that you said it was a post-June 1. You do have to split that up over 2 years, and they're going to have to take a somewhat of a hit for 2 years, but it would be worth it because you could save some money there. If you want to do that again, you get 2 of those post-June 1 cuts per year, so you have to decide which one you want to do. If you want to do it at all. And again, teams don't like to get rid of linemen. So you get a big, strong offensive lineman that's young like that, you're probably going to get a new offensive line coach or a new system if you bring in the guys in. And don't be surprised for someone to look and go, oh, I want that guy. I'll tell it once. I'll tell the story 100 times. One of my favorite stories of all time working here was after 2002, we thought Flozell Adams was Terrence Steele. That's what we thought of Flozell Adams, but he was a second-round pick, hadn't worked out, 4 years of this, penalties, false starts all the time, just, his body language, he was just a guy, didn't say a lot. I'm not saying Terrence Steele's that way, but I'm just saying it was like, all right, it's been 4 years. This isn't working out or whatever. Bill Parcells comes in for a first press conference, talks about what he's got to do differently, this, and this. And he said, well, first thing we got to do is re-sign Flozell Adams. And everybody was shocked. They're like, really? You want to re-sign Bill? Hold up now, Bill. He was like, you kidding me? Look at him. He's super tall, big, strong, left tackle. Yeah, we got to get him re-signed. Okay, it was odd that he would do that. Well, he only made 5 Pro Bowls in his next 6 years, and the only reason he didn't get it is because he got hurt one of those years. But he was a Pro Bowler every single year, one of the best players in Cowboys history. Sometimes you need a new coach. Sometimes you need a new voice. Sometimes you need a new something to kind of get you in the right situation, new offense, whatever it was. What I'm saying is they don't get rid of young linemen just because they're having a hard time giving up a sack here or there or whatever. Like, there's probably a lot more to it. So we'll keep an eye on that one. Nigel in Arizona is our next caller.
How are you, Nick?
Well, how are you? Are you okay?
Well, Nick, you ask me that every time. No. All right, yeah, that's okay. No, life is good, but no, I'm not okay. But, you brought up some points. I have a fix-all, and I'm going to tell you that last. This is going to fix the rest of the season and next year. Agree with you on Flozell. He came out. It took him a couple of years, but he was a badass. So I agree with you on the run plays. You know, it's been pretty obvious over the last 4 years that teams know. I mean, we came out with the Texans like in a tight bunch, no wide receivers out. What do you think we're going to do? I mean, it was so obvious, and we got stuff. So, going back to what you were talking about in the run situation, we got to show something that, hey, you know, we don't know if they're going to run. This looks like it could be something else, and then run. Lose deuce. We don't have the intelligence to figure out how to use this guy. Just done with him. Mingo, love the size, like you said. He looked pretty pissed off to me when those passes weren't getting to him. So here's your fix-all, and I hope you love this one. We'll call him Phil Jackson. We're going to have him come to AT&T Stadium. We're going to dim the lights down, and he's going to stage that place. And that curse is going to be gone. Love you, Nick. Happy Thanksgiving. Blessings to you, sir.
All right. Thank you. All right. I'm going to have to go back and try to listen to that call again because I honestly only heard about half of it. I really couldn't hear what he was saying. Sorry, Nigel, but I heard you say something about Mingo maybe being frustrated with. Yeah, I mean, of course, these guys are frustrated. Any receiver that gets open, that the ball doesn't hit there, they get frustrated. Especially a situation like this where, you know, he's been considered a bust since he got drafted. The trade has been mocked. Of course, it's not his fault, but, you know, it's another easy way to slam Jerry in the front office and Steven about making moves like this. And so, you know, it's easy to throw out his stats and all that. A guy like that, they hear it. They know it. They want to come in and prove themselves. That's what he said. He wanted to come in here and prove himself. That's the frustrating thing about receivers. You know, they don't give themselves the ball. They got to be able to make a play. So, you know, I don't know how frustrated he was or is, but, you know, those guys are eager to go make plays. And they, especially for him, who's been considered, you know, his career's already considered a bust, and it's a year and a half into it. Let's go to Tony in Alexandria, Virginia.
Nick, am I on?
You are. What's up?
Hey, long time no talk to.
How you doing?
I am doing good, and you know, it has been hard to get on to your show there based on, you know, all the calls you get. And with that being said, it's probably going to be my last call from Alexandria, Virginia, because I'll refresh your memory. If you recall, I called in last year saying that we're about to make the move to the Metroplex there. We're building a home. I'm not going to say the suburb because I'm going to call. I don't think I've listened to every show, and I'm pretty sure I have not heard that suburb, anyone from the Metroplex call in with that suburb.
What
so
letter?
I'm going to hold on.
What letter does it start with?
F.
And it's not.
And it's not Frisco.
It's not where we are?
No.
Got it.
So,
Forney.
Anyway. So, with that being said, and Chris can chime in on this too. So, with moving to the Metroplex, question, would you rather, if someone were to tie you down and had you choose, would you rather live closer to the stadium or closer to the Star based on like, you know, all the activities that go on, whether in year or out of year or what have you? And then I have am I the only one? Because a couple shows ago, you're like, people will call in saying, I'm the only one. Am I the only one that likes the black-based outfit, like the black helmet and a black uniform with, like, maybe the cowboy blue in it? I've seen other teams, like Detroit stands out. Like a couple weeks ago, I think they were on Monday night or Sunday. They were on a primetime game, and their uniforms were fire. They were, like, black, and they had the Detroit, like their colors, like, stand out. And I'm
Who
like,
else?
And,
Who else
Arizona has one.
Zero. Who else?
Philly.
Philly does it? Yeah, there's one.
Philly has a black-based uniform.
Zero.
Yeah, there's a couple other teams out there, but I'm like, am I the only one that likes that? Anyways,
no. No, you're probably not the only one that likes it. I'm sure I'm sure a lot of Cowboy fans like it. The problem is when it comes down to history, tradition, things like that, there's people that don't. And the Cowboys just don't. They don't change their jerseys a lot. They do some. They have an alternate. But they don't mix it up. They don't change that. Those teams that do that. The reason why I was saying 0. Yeah, Detroit. They're having a hell of a year, no doubt about it. They might be the Super Bowl favorite right now because they're dominating everybody. We saw it when they came here. They're here. They've been around since 1930, but do they have a tradition other than playing on Thanksgiving as the warm up to the Cowboys? I mean, same with Houston, same with Jacksonville, Arizona. I mean, they can trick up their jerseys and uniforms and do all that stuff. The Cowboys don't do that, and that's kind of why. That's why. Does it look cool? Yeah, it looks cool. All these teams that wear black.
Yeah. Because if you were to ask me what's my favorite piece of Cowboy paraphernalia, it's my black football helmet that I have. I've got 3 of them: the white one, the traditional one, and then the black one. But if you were to ask me what my favorite piece of paraphernalia is, it's the black football helmet. It just stands out. But that's just me.
No,
so,
and that's
anyway.
And that's cool because it'll never be in the game. Probably they'll never have it. I get it. Well, good luck this week. I know you're still in Alexandria, and I'm sure there's a Commanders fan or 3 out there talking crap. So good luck this week.
Yeah. They're happy. I mean, I get it. They've been down for a while, and now it looks like they're up and as far as in them winning and possibly winning the division, but it's kind of like with the Giants, the Commanders, and the Eagles. You have to choose the less of the evils. Yeah. And if I had to choose one besides the Cowboys winning the division, it would probably be the Commanders because I cannot stand the Eagles for nothing. Yeah. So, anyways, but again, that's just me. But anyways, I'll hang up and listen to the rest of the show.
That is not just you. All right. Thanks for the call. That is, I promise you, that is not just you. That's one that's not just you. There's a lot of people that can't stand the Eagles, including their own fans. All right. To answer your question about closer to the Star or closer to the stadium, I would say closer to work. I'm sorry, but I don't know how traffic is in other places, but I would say closer to work. That's just me. You're going to go to you have season tickets to the Cowboy game. That would be 10 times to go out there, including 2 preseason games. I don't know how many tours you would be taking here at the Star, so I don't know how many times you got to come out here. So, you know what? Either way, you'll make the trip there, and it'll be worth it wherever you are. I would say closer to work. That's just me. I don't love the traffic on any place, and so you're probably asking the wrong guy there. All right, let's go to our next caller. Is Alan's not with us. Gavin in Oklahoma City. Gavin.
Hey, what's up, man?
What's up?
Nothing good, man. Not with this season. It hasn't been fun at all. But anyway,
you'd be under my top 5 list, man. If we're just gonna hang out and just drink a beer or 2 or 6, I would be like, man, I don't even know. You just seem like you're just kind of cool. I gotta have Randy there too. But yeah.
I get that a lot. I'm a very relaxed person, and I don't know. I enjoy life, man. I like kicking back and doing stuff, and yeah.
So what happens when Turpin catches the ball? You're down 14-0. You're wondering if you're ever going to score this year. And Turpin catches the ball and house called. What are you? Are you just like go Turpin?
Well,
or are you?
I have a personal connection with that because Turpin is from my hometown.
Okay,
and when he scored that touchdown, I was probably yelling louder than anybody that's a Cowboys fan. And I never get up and holler and scream usually at the game unless I see a sack, a pick six, or a long touchdown. So that met the criteria. I got up and I was like, "Let's go, Turp, let's go!" That's my guy.
All right, that's cool. I didn't know that. I didn't know that he was from. Because where is he from?
Monroe, Louisiana. Okay. Neville High School alum. I went to Ouachita High School, which is across the river. I got to play on the opposite side of him before as a sophomore, and he was a senior. But he's a hometown hero for sure where I'm from, and it was really fun to see him do that. I really hope the Cowboys can find a way to get him back on the team. But here's what I got for you, man. First of all, I've heard a couple people on the show the last few days kind of float around ideas of Dak being traded. Number one, me and you both know that's a waste of breath. And number two, I think if anything, this stretch of games has kind of showed you that maybe Dak is playing at a high level. Maybe this team around him is not at a high level. You know what I mean?
Fair. I mean,
yeah.
I mean, Dak is one of those guys. It's like, oh, he's not worth this, and that, whatever it is. But when he's not here, you see the problem. You see that. I mean, you wish he was. That's all I'm saying is he gives you a way better chance to win because this defense isn't good enough to carry a backup quarterback right now. It was 2 years ago. It's certainly not this year. And so I think Dak certainly gives you a better chance to win. And they know that. We all know that.
Right.
Is he worth the number one? The highest paid player in the history of the NFL? Well, probably not. But that's
right.
Also the way the order goes.
The market.
Yeah, that's the way it goes. He'll be 12th, 13th, or whatever in 2 years, which is what he was before he signed this deal. He was about 14th, and that's about where he is in that 10 to 14 range. It depends on what you think about quarterbacks, but that's kind of the way it goes.
I feel like from an intellectual standpoint, you got to see those contractors more as an investment than if they're the highest paid player in their position or not. Because like you said, in a few years, these players that we just paid are going to look like great deals. And when their contract comes up, and if we have to sign one or two of them again, it ain't going to look like a good deal anymore because you just paid them more than everybody else. That's the way the market is. I have a decent understanding of the market, and I don't think most fans do. So that's kind of where you have troubles with that on this show. But the other thing I wanted to say is I think it's fair to look forward now, obviously. Unfortunately for you, because I know this is kind of a week-to-week show, but
you can look forward. You can look forward. It's just I look 3 days forward. You guys are looking 3 months. I get that.
Right. It's a little bit easier to do now. I'm with you on that usually, but as a fan to get excited, you kind of have to look ahead right at this second. So I kind of think y'all nailed it yesterday at the end of the show with the 3-4 defense. If you're going to pay Micah, and I think you have to pay Micah, me personally, if you pay Micah a grand contract like we know he's going to require, he needs to be in a 3-4 or at least be in a way that maximizes him. And him and Overshown on opposite sides of the defense, I'm in love with that idea, man. I am.
That could be nasty. Yeah, I'm a fan of that too. Now, what I don't know, though, is I'm not so – you have another question, Gavin?
I got one more thing to say, and I'll just let you talk.
Yeah.
And I know you really ain't going to talk about this, so this is more of a comment.
Go for it.
I think we have to address the running back room, obviously, this offseason. And I think there's a kid in Boise State who look really good in Cowboys uniform. I'm just saying. Okay. Well, I'm going to leave you at that.
All right. Well, I appreciate that. I know who you're talking about. He's a Heisman, he'll be a finalist there. Ashton Genty, I believe is his name. I mean, he looks good for sure. And again, running backs are tough to tell. Sometimes you see these backs and they get projected as, second rounders, third rounders, whatever. Obviously, we're not. We may be doing a draft show in December. They'll be talking about that. Still, there's a lot happening between now and then. So it's just all speculation at this point. But you got to fix that offensive line. You needed to fix the line. But I'll say this though, it's not just that. With running backs, it's a combination. I kind of think of a running back like I think of a photographer. Okay, like I get it. The ones that are really good are the ones that, they have this great equipment, but I couldn't take that equipment and have a great picture. I mean, I think there's a combination of you got to have the right equipment around you, the right tools, but you also have to have something inside, some talent as well. And I say that. I mean, I think Rico. Yeah, I mean, I don't know if Rico Dowdle's having a 1,500-yard year behind that offensive line DeMarco Murray rushed for. I just don't think he's got that in him. I don't think he doesn't hit the hole as quick. He makes mistakes here. He'll drop the ball here. He fumble. I mean, I think he's a good, solid runner, but I don't think he's got that special quality. And so I think you do need that. What I'm saying is you do need a special running back, but you also got to fix that line and got to do a little bit of both. What I was saying about Overshown, I love that idea with Parsons and Overshown, but I like the way Overshown tracks the ball. And having him in the middle of the field as one of those linebackers, if he can hold up there and do that, and the way he runs, his awareness and how he tackles and he gets to the football, I don't know if I want him on the edge like that on the other side. I kind of like him in the middle as well. Either way, he's a great player. They'll figure it out. But, Sam Williams will be coming back. He seems like a pretty good 3-4 outside linebacker as well when he's healthy. So they should have some options if that's what they decide to do. All right, let's go to Rick in Massachusetts.
Hey, Nick. How you doing?
Good. How are you?
All right. Your son's sports activities done?
He's good at playing basketball. He's playing basketball now. So
but I have a couple of things to say. One is tonight at 9:00 we have our StoryLiners Twitter Spaces. If anybody out there wants to join, you're more than welcome.
I'm joining in the show tonight. 9:00 your time. That's 8:00 Central.
Yeah, correct.
How long y'all usually go? 2 or 3 hours?
It goes like 3 hours.
I'm gonna get in there. I'm gonna get in there tonight. I don't know when. I tried the other day. I tried to get in, and there was some kind of technical issues or something. It got kicked out. I don't know, but I'm gonna get in there tonight. 8:00, 8 to 11.
Yeah, that's good. The other thing is getting Turpin the ball at the beginning of that in the first half, but he didn't see much of them in the second half. So it's like, but some of the other people like Flournoy and Mingo. But I think the tight ends, Spanford and Schoonmaker, kind of stepped it up without Ferguson there.
Yeah, they did a nice job. I was impressed with them. That they caught the ball. They're not going to be the same type of guys Ferguson. They're not going to break a lot of tackles, and you don't see a lot of run after catch. But it wasn't bad. I thought Spanford did a nice job too, especially breaking some tackles, getting out of bounds on a play. He's got to keep playing for sure.
Okay, look forward to here tonight. Talk to you later.
All right, sounds good. Man, I got to take one more break here on Cowboys Storyline. Ronnie, I know you're on the line. I'm going to get to Ronnie in a second, but go Storyline break. Last one.
Discover Aiden, the official luggage partner of the Dallas Cowboys and Dallas Cowboys cheerleaders. Known for top-tier engineering and craftsmanship, Aiden offers more than just bags. Originating from Australia and designed in New York, it merges fashion, design, and culture. Used by Dallas Cowboys players, staff, and the entire organization, Aiden provides style and functionality for all travelers. Visit AidenTheBrand.com and use code AidenXCowboys for 25% off your purchase. Travel like your favorite stars with Aiden.
Altec Lansing has been perfecting sound since 1927, bringing you decades of audio excellence to elevate your Dallas Cowboys tailgate ritual. Equip your next pregame with the Sound Rover 180 with 6 hours of playtime, built-in microphone, multicolor light modes, and a rugged exterior that's built to last. Visit alteclansing.com/Cowboys15 for 15% off your Sound Rover 180. That's ALTECLANSING.com/Cowboys15 for 15% off. Altec Lansing, official audio partner of the Dallas Cowboys.
Back to Cowboys Storyline.
Welcome back to Cowboys Storyline. Just got a few minutes. We're going to go back to the line. Ronnie in New Jersey. Ronnie, what's up?
Hey, Nick. How you doing?
Good, man. You?
Not too bad. Nick, real quick, I was wondering with the situation, now that we're on, with the young players, right? Who makes the decision on playing the young guys now that, we want to see what we have hopefully for next year and according to the draft, what we'll need and what we should get. And just even for backup roles, is that something management makes decisions on, or is this according to the coaching staff? Because if it's the coaching staff, I'm imagining they want to continue playing the veterans.
Best guys.
That'll probably give them a better better shot to win. But they need to know what they need for the future. No,
that's something that's probably been an issue for teams and coaches for years. I mean, this is not new. This is because you got to remember the front office, they're not going anywhere. You know, they're here. So yes,
that's what I'm saying. So Jerry Jones going to have to step in and be like, start playing.
They have personnel meetings.
And
they have personnel meetings every week. They do this at the front office. I mean, remember the GM. I mean, these are the personnel. Then they talk about how things are and what their questions are how different is Flanoy than Jalen Brooks right now. And if the answer is Jalen Brooks is by far a better player, Flanoy's not even close, then I'm sure we keep playing Jalen Brooks or whatever. But if it's like, well, it's kind of right there, and actually Flanoy, it might be a little bit better here. Okay, play the young guy. But I mean, so that those conversations are having all the time, and so.
Do you think they're having it with a quarterback situation right now?
Oh, sure. Yes.
Who do we want to resign? This guy's older. This guy's younger. And,
yes.
We gave up a draft pick for Lance.
Of course. Yes.
Don't you want to develop him?
I do think your general manager gets involved and Stephen Jones and all that. That's part of the personnel meetings. That's part of the questions with Will McClay. It's yes, they make those decisions there. And if they say, well, what about this corner, Keemon Hall? How does he relate to Trayvon Diggs? And then they look and like, seriously? Like, oh, okay. Never mind. You know what I'm saying? So it's not for everybody. It's not. We're not taking everybody out. But I think if it's close, in Flanoy, Jalen Brooks, I think is a good example. Yeah, I mean,
the younger guys, the guys that are on the contract for much longer. So
and McCarthy understands that. He understands the role.
It didn't sound like that in his press conference. In his press conference, he was saying about. This guy gives us a better chance to win, which helps out his record because McCarthy doesn't want to have all these losses for the rest of the season.
Of course not.
8 more losses on his record.
Of course, and that might help. He needs to win games. That's his job is to win games.
Nick, if they're as good as coaches as they are, this team is bad. This team is young, right? Well, develop these guys. Let's see how good of coaches you really are. Let's develop these guys. Let's see if at the end of the season we get some guys that are at least be good role players, good backups, like the other guy was saying, the short running back. Yeah, you put him in situations that aren't for him to win. You put some of these players in situations that they're going to lose in certain situations.
Yeah.
If you're a good coach, you're going to set them up for not for failure to win, which will help out the team and help out the players and help everybody, even them. But it puts them in a bad situation where they're putting players that can't do certain things, and you put them in a situation to do things that they're not good at. So thanks for taking my call.
All right, Ronnie.
You gotta get off.
Yeah, I appreciate it. But that's I mean, good questions, and those are conversations that are being had not just here, a lot of places. What gives us the best chance to win now versus down the road? Do you have progress stoppers? And I think as the games continue to go and we get more games like this, you're going to see that more and more. You know what I mean? Like until you're out of it, and they're not. So you have to. Even though I know you guys are like, well, they're out. Technically, they're not, so you have to keep kind of playing it a certain way. But I think slowly you'll start to see and you'll see the players. Again, though, the Cowboys don't have to try to tank anything here. They're playing a second quarterback, maybe a third. They haven't had a legitimate number one running back all year long. Their offensive line has got a lot of young players on it now. They've got like 9 players on injured reserve. Half of the 11 starters or the 22 starters in that Browns game, half of them have been on IR at some point, missed games. They don't have to try to do this. It's already happening. We'll see how it continues, though. It's been fun talking to you guys today. We'll talk tomorrow on Cowboys Storyline. We'll see you then.
This has been a production of DallasCowboys.com and the Dallas Cowboys Football Club.
How about this, Cowboys?